Hello everyone, this is your 5 and welcome to the Cobra Motorcycle toy review. And today's toy review looking at the 2011 release by Hasbro of the G.I. Joe Pursuit of Cobra action figure review. And today's action figure review looking at the Wave 4 of the City Strike Destro weapon supplier. Now I got this straight from eBay for 60 ringgit, which is actually quite pricey, but not much of a choice actually, because well, for the Wave 4 figures, they never actually existed or arrived in Malaysia at all. So I have to resort on getting this straight from eBay. And it's rather more pricier compared to the retail pricing of, well, 41 ringgit and 90 cents. Now let's take a look at the front part packaging itself. On the side here, we got a nicer artwork, a very simple artwork of Destro. And you can see his head is rather shiny and he's fully armored, very nice. Here in the packaging itself, you get to see the figure fully armored and has a really large minigun or a Gatling cannon on this section here, and you got the belt feet on the back here, and you got the catalog all folded up on one side here at the bottom section, and here as well we have a stack of money, briefcase full of money, and behind the figure we have the base stand. Now let's take a look at the back portion of the packaging. Here we have a smaller write-up on what's G.I. Joe really about and who they're up against, which is Cobra. Here the mission is City Strike, and you got a nice little diorama scene for the City Strike itself. You got the City Strike beachhead hiding at one corner of the behind the wall itself, and the streets here is crawling with Cobra operatives. You got the Night Adder figure that's actually from the Rise of Cobra, I'm not too sure why it's there. Firefly is there as well, very nice, and also another Firefly, I'm not too sure why. There's the Cobra Fury tank as well, very nice. Here in his profile card stated James McCullen Destro, the 24th. Now in the write-up stated, Destro designs and manufactures advanced weaponry and supplies weapons to Cobra. He demonstrates his latest high-powered plasma rifles by leading shock troopers in an attack on G.I. Joe Trooper Lowlight, who has infiltrated a Cobra warehouse in an urban city. Destro has to quickly change his plans when he finds out that Lowlight knows who they are there and is waiting for them. His mission equipment: GC SFS Gatling cannon with stabilizing fire support. Very nice. So without further ado, let's open up this packaging so we can molest the figure. Be right back. And we're back after removing the figure and the rest of the stuff out from packaging. Now let's take a look at Destro's accessories here, starting with the base stand. Now we have a typical 25th anniversary design of a Cobra base stand. You got a nice little Cobra logo on the top and two pegs for the figure to stand on. Now what's nice is the nameplate there, because it stated the whole entire name for Destro, James McCullen Destro, in Roman numerals, number 24. Very nice. At the back here stated 2007 Hasbro made in China. Now Destro here comes with a whole laden of accessories. First things first, we have a black suitcase which is not painted at all, it's just pure black plastic material. You got a handle on the top for him to grab onto, and to open it up is quite easy. All you have to do is just pull it apart like so. And here we got the two pegs to plug it onto these two holes here. You will also notice inside of the briefcase is empty except these two pegs, which I'm going to show later. Now for his money, there's 6 stacks of American currency. If you see it closely, you can see the colors and the design itself. Very nice. And it also contains the bank slipping to, well, make a stack of money as well. Very nicely done. As you can see, the colors as well looks like American currency. 6 stacks of them. And then we have 6 stacks of European currency, as you can see that, also with a bank slipping piece there to hold the stack together. Very nice. And then we have a singular piece, both European and American currency all together. It's a single piece here. There's 2 holes at the back. You're supposed to connect it inside the briefcase itself, like so. And for the rest of the loose money, just place it into the briefcase like so. Arrange it to whichever you want. I just toss them in because we have a lot of accessories to go through. Once everything is in, close it, and there you have it. Next we have a 25th anniversary version of a pistol here. This is a same old pistol that appeared in the 25th line. There's no other changes. It's in grey plastic material. Now you can actually store the pistol into the holster here, and the holster is actually connected to the belt itself. This is a new accessory, of course. The belt buckle there is painted in silver, and in between the belt itself is painted in black. Very nice. There is no buttons at all, so all you have to do is just slip it on the bottom section of the leg all the way to the waist itself. The rest of the items are all new accessories, of course. I forgot to mention that the banknotes are also new accessories, including the briefcase as well. Now, let's take a look at his armament. First, we have his Gatling cannon, which actually comes in a few pieces. We have the stabilizers here, which is also articulated. As you can see, there's a peg there that goes inwards and outwards and then 360 degrees. There's a peg here that's meant to connect to the body armor. This peg can actually connect to the side here or to the back. It doesn't actually have a specific instruction on where to connect. It depends on how you actually pose Destro. So I'm just going to place it on the back like so, or if you want, you can still place it up to the side. Now here on this section here, there's an empty slot. It's meant to connect the belt feet to this section here, and at the end of the belt feet itself there's nothing to connect to, and that's all you're gonna get. Now the Gatling cannon is actually very nice. You got a handle on the right, you got the main firing handle on the top here. The back portion here, you got the dial, which you can turn the dial to turn the entire barrel. Very nice. And here you got the small little guard where there's a small little Cobra logo imprinted there. Very nice. Very nice accessory. Then we have a pair of armored leggings. As you can see there, both leggings is the same. Now the paint job is very nice. Although the entire thing is made of a grey plastic material, the paint job is very impressive. The entire armor here looks very metallic and very weathered. Rivets are painted in silver. You've got a small little Cobra logo there, and the leggings here, or the clip-on, is actually painted in a red camo paint job because it's supposed to follow the same colors as, well, Destro's pants or uniform. Very nice. Then we have his shoulder armor, which is also made of a grey plastic material. Inside is the padding itself. You've got the two pegs to connect to the body armor here. There's a hole here. First we'll take a look at the shoulder armor. The shoulder armor is also quite nicely done. There's a little bit of paint job, and you'll notice there's a little bit of scratches on metal. Very nice. You got a small little Cobra logo there. Then you can actually connect it like so. The shoulder armor is the one piece that tends to pop off from the figure quite easily. I'll put it one side first. Let's focus on the body armor. The body armor is also made of a grey plastic material. As you can see here, there's a button here to connect to this section here, and it's quite easy to remove and place the body armor onto the figure itself. There's some nice little details there, a lot of straps, paddings, pouches are painted in black, straps here painted in black. Get to see a small little Cobra logo here. Very nice. A lot of nice details. At the back portion here, you got a small little handle. You can actually, well, depending on what vehicles we have, we don't actually have any vehicles that actually has a hook. You can actually hook it on like so and lowering the figure down or up if you have such a vehicle to play with in the first place. Quite interesting actually. We're going to place it here. Now let's take a look at the figure's paint job. Now I really like the paint job. We have this well, red camel paint job going on for Destro here. However, the red part here, the red parts are actually the red plastic material, except for the lower leggings here, that's actually painted, but the rest of the body itself is all pure red plastic material. The grey paint job has been applied onto the armor itself. Very nice. The kneecap is of course painted. The lower section of the boots here is actually made of a black plastic material, so they actually painted this section. Very nicely done with the paint job of the camel there. Back portion of the leg is also painted. Very nice. You got the boots as well. The boots is also nicely done with the paint job on the tip of the boots itself for the metallic boots. Now the head is the most impressive one because it's all chrome. Very nice. And the eyes are actually painted in green. And it actually has a little bit of pupil there to show a little bit of lighter in, perhaps in white. Very nice. It looks like he actually has a pair of eyeballs there. Very nice. Now let's take a look at the figures mode. Now the figures mode is, majority of the mode is nothing new. It's actually from the Articulation Destro, of course in the Pursuit of Cobra line as well. As you can see, of course they actually modify a little bit on the lower arms here, as you can see that, but it's the same thing except for the lower arms there. And of course the most obvious one is the head. The head is actually a new head sculpt. Very nicely done. I really like the details on the new head sculpt, and I really love the chrome there. Very nice. Now let's take a look at the figure's articulation. The head can actually pivot a little bit up and down, actually. Not much of a difference. It can go side to side a little bit and turn 360 degrees. Quite tight. Torso here can go forward, back, and turn 360 degrees. Shoulders here can turn 360 degrees and lift all the way up this far because it's being hindered by the shoulder pads here. Elbow joint here can bend this far and turn 360 degrees, kind of bend backwards because it's being hindered by the elbow pad there. Wrist joint here can turn 360 degrees. Hip joints can move forward to the sides. Double jointed knee that bend really far, actually, this far. And ankle joint that pivots downwards, upwards, and turn 360 degrees. Now let's fully equip Destro here. First we'll have him equipped with the armor itself, the body armor. All you have to do is just slip everything in like so. And there you have it. Plug in the button and it's done on one section. Slip in the belt like so. Everything must go in to the flaps itself, as you can see. There you have it. This is only one section that is done. I show the armor, the leggings. Very nice. And finally, we have his Gatling gun, which you have to connect this peg to this pouch here, which is a bit tight fit but still can be connected like so. Very nice. And you can hold the handle like so. As you can see, the belt feet tends to pop off quite easily from the figure. Very nice. And he can hold his money while negotiating some deal using a minigun towards his clients. Very nice. Or trying to find low light and kill him. Very, very nice. Overall, I really like this. I really like the figure. Despite that the figure's body is nothing new, it's the same build mode as the Articulation Destro there, but I really like the chrome head. It's really nice, and the rest of the accessories really make him quite intimidating. Problem is quite a chore trying to have him dress all the equipment up. And if you notice, the stabilizer here, because it's connected to the sight here, the stabilizer is connected to the minigun. Destro is actually holding the weapon on using his right hand. You still have the right handle there. It's meant to be carried on to the sides like so. So this arm is supposed to hold this and this hand is supposed to grab this. But due to the design itself, this shoulder pad should be on the other side, because that's if he's gonna aim on one direction like so, let's say on this direction, that armor piece should protect him here rather than on the other side. But just a little bit of opinion there. But overall, the entire figure looks very, very great. If I'm gonna give a rating on this, I would say it's a little bit of chore trying to place everything onto the figure, but really impressive looking. I would say I'll give it a nice 9 out of 10. Yes, a nice 9 out of 10, because I really don't like the fussiness of some of the parts itself. The shoulder pad here tends to pop off quite easily, and trying to adjust the minigun to pose whichever that you really want is a little bit of a chore as well. Furthermore, some of the parts like the belt doesn't actually secure very well. There's no buttons that actually peg onto the belt itself, so when you play around with him, the belt will tend to fall off. Same goes with the armor piece on the leggings there. So yes, that's a bit of a chore there. But otherwise, the figure is really nice, despite that it reuses the same body mode. So 9 out of 10 for the City Strike Destro weapon supplier. And I thank you all for watching. This is Lucy05, and I'm signing off.